Hi everybody, and happy spring. It's the end of April, and it's what we horticulturists call the silly season because there's just so much to do. There's getting rid of the winter debris or detritus. There's pruning, and there's a lot of weeding, and then eventually we're going to plant the annuals and putting down some new soil. So I'm going to be telling you about soil tests in a little bit. So safety first. So normally I have my hats on, and you can see I got my new tick suit on. This is my second one, and I just love it, and I highly recommend it. So unfortunately, we have to really guard ourselves. Climate chaos is increasing the number of critters that can do us some harm. So consider yourself completely covered. Bill likes to say that I'm like a beekeeper. I'm so covered, but for this video, I figured this way you can see me, but I usually have glasses on, as well. So again, the beauty of the springtime, you can see here with the majesty of these native plant viburnums. I mean, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And then before you head out, you want to make sure that you have all your tools that are clean and sharpened, and Bill does take care of this. So I always have my little snips that Margaret Roach told me about. So I have those, and my weeder, and then of course my Japanese knife that really can do just about everything. So for a general rule, you're not going to prune until after it blooms. So you think about that. So you don't want to just be cutting for purposes of cleaning. Don't think of pruning as cutting. Think of it more like a stylized haircut at a fancy salon. So some things, like for example, like here you can just see it's a little bit of dead wood, but these are bobo hydrangeas. So you have to know what kind of cultivar, what kind of plant that you're dealing with. So hydrangeas in particular are a little befuddling for most people. My clients tell me that sometimes they just won't bloom for them, and that's usually because I've seen their mow, blow, and go guys just sort of cut them down at the end of the summer or cut them back, and that's not the way to do it. So here, a general rule again is maybe cut it by a third. So these bobos have gotten a little too big for what I wanted, where it would make a circumference around the viburnums here. So you go down to what is a nodule like this, where you can see there's a bloom here that's going to be coming out. So you can take that off that way. So you look to see where it's blooming. You can cut it this way. Okay. So why? Because it's going to power up on the inside of the plant and produce more blossoms rather than trying to go up and get taller. So as I'm pruning this here, Bill can show you a little bit of our beautiful border garden that changes with each season. So I like to say garden with the season. But you also think about pruning your the conifers and so on. So don't forget about that. I just finished doing this carpet conifer here. Everybody likes a haircut. You can see we have thousands of bulbs that are here in the front, and in the spring we have native grasses, and so we bring it back to here, just the color that people absolutely love. And so I'm going to be showing you a couple of different videos to things to do this springtime season. So in the meantime, happy gardening. Welcome to our little farmette, or a little edible garden here. So at one point we had it even much bigger, and then because we're getting older, we didn't want to really have to be doing that much work. So I turned part of it into a shell garden so that Bill can show you there. So a lot of grasses and lavender, and right behind it is the asparagus. But here in this edible garden, my most favorite thing is our garlic. So Bill has planted 4 different kinds of garlic, and you can see he's labeled them. These are shallots. I just planted the peppers, the edible peppers that are in here. And you really shouldn't plant any of your annuals and things until the ground is like around 40, 50 degrees, I would say. I do have the ornamental sage on either end. It's not only pretty, but good for critters and things. Camomiles are in the antique flower pots, and my favorite, the French tarragon, is on the side. This lavender is just beautiful in winter and in the summer, with beautiful color and the fragrance that goes with it. But I want to point out, and the lavage that's there, so I love that in Bloody Marys or salads or things. And then as the garlic goes down and we harvest it in July, what happens is that we start to put the other things in there as well. So, but here, what my most important thing that I want to show you is now's the time of year, well, any time is good, but now is most important to take your soil test. So you can buy a little one like this at your local hardware store. You can also contact your local co-op. We use Rutgers University for your soil testing. So it's as simple as putting in a few little scoops into this. Then you have some little pellets, you shake it up with some water, you wait, I think it's like 24 hours or something like that, and then you can see what your the pH water is, what the alkalinity is, if it's too acidy, and then you can make adjustments accordingly. And what's the best way to harness the power of good soil is compost, and we have a very big compost cabana that we use really pretty much, I would say, all year round. So I'll show that to you in another picture. All right, so happy edible gardening, happy spring, happy Earth Day. Okay, so welcome to our little herbal or physic garden here. It's right off our kitchen, and thank you. So here I have lots of herbs that are easy to access into the kitchen. So you can see Bill's showing you the grapevine that's here, and then you can come on over. So right now, it's what I would call pretty much a mess, because I've got the winter weeds and things like that that I'm going to be taking out. And I'm also just starting to plant, some of the annuals that I have here. But the sooner you start doing your weeding, the easier it's going to be for the rest of the season. So, these weeds, they're very invasive, and, they really can put themselves in. But you can get them out, and then I can put down a little bit more pea gravel in here so to make walking around a little bit easier. So I've got some lemongrass, we've got some lettuces, we've got, I do have some ornamentals in here as well. You can see some of the spring bloomers, but my favorites are the caravan, the sage, and the anastasia that's in here. So I inherited the lily of the valley, and I let that go, and then I just took it out at the end of the season, so there really isn't much, to do with that, and I don't worry about it not coming back because it's pretty aggressive. So you can see that. So try to plant your herbs and things that you use for your cooking, fairly close to your kitchen area where you can nip them off and make it easier. Later I'll show you what's down in our growscape garden, so there's lots of plants down there that we can use directly right on the grill. Okay, so get in there, it's springtime, happy Earth Day, happy gardening.